In 1930, electric power took over, and the water tank was removed. Entering inside the tower, the most striking sights are the stairs winding up towards the top of the tower, and the deep pit dug underground, a component of the old hydraulic system. Leaving the tower through a wide corridor, visitors are admitted into the vestibule of the Swabian-Angevin gallery. This vestibule, characterized by an ogival vault and restored by a skilled worker of the Naval Department between September and December 2004, could date back to the Swabian period or even to the Norman conquest. The adjoining Swabian-Angevin gallery, connecting St. Lawrence and Annunziata, has an ogival vault too, while its walls are partially dug into the limestone over which and around which the castle was built. This gallery was restored by two skilled workers of the Naval Department during the first 7 months of 2004. The beautiful ogival vault, the location at the lowest level, and the cave-like nature of half of the structure contribute to give to this gallery a possible Swabian-Angevin dating, that is, between the 13th and 15th century. The internal wall and the one towards Annunziata, both cut into the limestone, still show the holes used as lamp holders. The gallery is adjacent to a very large barrel-vaulted room, where it is possible to see the external surface of the Crispano wall. At the end of the gallery, made almost completely of solid rock shaped as an ogival arch, there is the entrance to the Tower of Annunziata. Inside this tower, at the first level, a hemispherical casemate was originally a cistern, as proven by the continuous dripping of water. The construction is so accurate to determine the amplification of voice when speaking at the center of the casemate. Going up the stairs, constructed within the thickness of the wall, we reach a second casemate, very similar to the first one, but probably used as a magazine. Immediately above the second casemate, there is the entrance to the northern gallery, connecting Annunziata and St. Lawrence. This gallery, with an ogival vault, is very similar and probably contemporary to the Swabian-Angevin gallery, placed exactly under it. The connection with St. Lawrence Tower is realized through a small barrel-vaulted vestibule, discovered in June 2004, where the narrow passage from St. Lawrence, opened at the end of 2004, reaches its end. Going back to the Annunziata Tower, another flight of stairs takes us to the Musketeers' level, with 4 defensive centers, each one with 4 emplacements. A last flight of steps takes us to the gun platform, filled up with earth at the end of the 16th century to place the gun battery and barbette, that is, on top of the tower. The earth filling was emptied in 1930, and the platform was restored as it was in 1492. Coming up to the wide fighting platforms, it is possible to see the small cupola of the chapel, the low parapets and the gun emplacements on the tower tops, probably built by the Spaniards. Going down the eastern ramp, visitors can enter inside a secluded yard, surrounded by many small rooms used as jails during the 18th and 19th century. Inside the cell of the northeastern corner, there is the entrance to the intramural passage built within the 8-meter thick wall of Crispano, and therefore named Corridor of Crispano. Discovered in November 2003 and restored in the summer of 2004, it was one of the many fighting galleries extending at various levels inside the full length of the curtains. armed by soldiers who would fire through the many loopholes crossing the wall, intramural galleries were discarded at the end of the 16th century and filled up with earth and stone to improve wall resistance. The corridor has 6 loopholes on the eastern side to protect the moat and many shafts venting outside the smoke produced by firearms. Loopholes are of the multiple type to ensure overlapping of target areas and to protect the defenders from enemy fire. 2 loopholes directed towards the interior of the castle prove that the wall of Crispano was intended as a freestanding structure, and that the triangle between the St. Angel Tower and the central body of the castle was completed only later on. In the intramural gallery of Crispano, in addition to the loopholes, there are 2 chutes used to drop stones on the attackers. One is just before the entrance, the other is under the floor, a few meters inside. Having left the corridor of Crispano, going down the northern ramp and then crossing the entire courtyard, it is possible to reach the wide open barrel-vaulted hall of the eastern entrance, and, turning left, the eastern corridor running behind the curtain wall 8 meters thick. After removing a filling of earth and concrete, the original floor of this corridor was found 2 meters below the present one. Moreover, in this way, the connection between St. Lawrence and the northern gallery was opened and made visible from above. The eastern corridor takes us to the entrance to the intramural passage of St. Lawrence, discovered in November 2003 and restored in 2004 by a skilled worker of the Naval Department. This intramural passage, running exactly below the one of Crispano, offers a very impressive view of the St. Lawrence Tower, with its corbels and arches perfectly preserved inside the thickness of the wall. When it was first discovered, this passage was full of loose earth and stones, whose removal brought to light a deep well. The numerous potsherds of the 16th and 17th centuries found inside this well are preserved in the castle, waiting for restoration and classification. The intramural passage of St. Lawrence has 4 loopholes towards the exterior and 2 towards the interior of the castle, a further proof that initially the wall of Crispano was designed as a freestanding structure with defensive emplacements on both sides. Through the venting shaft that opens over the well, in November 2003, an officer of the Naval Department managed to climb and reach the above gallery of Crispano that had been closed for centuries. Going back to the courtyard and passing through the wide barrel-vaulted southern gallery, it is possible to enter inside the Bandiera Tower, at the level of the musketeer emplacements. Ground level is reached through a steep and narrow staircase that ends inside a square casemate, partially dug in limestone. Here the walls are very crudely built, while the barrel vault is extremely refined in the Aragonese style. It is possible that the walls are the remains of one of the 4 quadrangular medieval towers, standing on this side of the castle before the reconstruction by the Aragonese at the end of the 15th century. At that time, the old tower was incorporated in the new one, much larger and round in shape, and its walls were cut to support the barrel vault. Going back to the courtyard ends the visit to the castle.